Good morning, everyone. It's Shauna the Tax Goddess. So late Friday night, the SBA very quietly released the PPP loan forgiveness application on its website. And of course, that set into a flurry a million more questions than it actually answered. So in today's video, we're covering two of the most common questions that we have been asked, okay? The first, actually, before we jump into the first one, make sure that you are subscribed to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/taxgoddess, and our Facebook group, Tax Strategies That Save Entrepreneurs Thousands. As more questions come up and as more guidance continues to come out, we will, of course, be releasing videos. Now, if you guys remember, when all this first happened back in March of 2020, the SBA said we will be releasing more guidance. That's what they're doing, and they're going to continue to do that. So basically what seems to be happening is as people are asking questions, the SBA is going, oh yeah, we didn't think about that, so here's the answer, okay? That's really what we're finding out. So for today's two most common questions that we have received over this past time period, so since March when the PPP loans were first starting to come out, one of the major ones, okay, so this is all about the forgiveness of the PPP loan. One of the major ones was, well, what happens if my payroll periods don't line up with the 8-week period of when I get my money? Because the way the forgiveness is supposed to work is that, let's say you get your money on April 1st, you have 8 weeks by days, counted days, 8 weeks to spend that PPP money, okay? Well, if your payroll happened to land on March 28th, your next payroll for some people might be monthly, it might be every 2 weeks. You're not going to get a chance to spend all of the money within that 8-week period, okay? Now, the SBA, in their guidance on the loan application that was released on Friday night, which would have been, let me go look at that calendar date, Friday night would have been May 15th. The information that was released basically says that yes, it will tie. The exact phrasing. We now know that there will be the ability to line up payroll periods with the 8-week forgiveness period, okay? So you do not have to switch your payroll, but there are some very specific things in this alternative payroll, this alternative covered period, okay? So that's... You want to read the instructions. Okay, there's a lot of if and buts. What about this? So for example, people that are on monthly, people that are on every week, people that are on bi-weekly, there's lots of different versions of being covered by this alternate forgiveness time period, this alternate forgiveness 8 weeks. So if you have questions, please post them down below. We will get to them as fast as we can with the information that we know at the time that we're making the answer. That's the other thing that has really come out in this SBA guidance, is that questions and answers that we have been answering before are now no longer true, okay? We now have new guidance. So again, super important that you guys are subscribed to our YouTube channel and our Facebook group to make sure that you're keeping up with the newest and the most current guidance and questions and answers that the SBA is providing. Okay, so the next piece here is that there's a lot of people who, had their employees, COVID happened, they let go of their employees so that their employees could go and get on unemployment. But then, of course, unemployment was worth more to the employees than the wages that they were originally getting at their job. So there was major concern for the business owners. Well, what happens if my people won't come back to work? Right? I've offered them the job and they're refusing to come back to work. We now know explicitly, okay, that you can continue to count for purposes of loan forgiveness any employees that were, laid off. You offered to rehire them. They refused to come back. Now, I suggest, and it's been suggested all over the place, that you get all of that in writing. In writing, very important that you get it in writing that you tried to rehire them, okay, and they refused to come back to work. It's got to be for the same pay and the same hours. That's a catch in there. You basically have to be offering them the same job that they had at the same pay, same hours, maybe not the same job. I want to make sure I'm saying that properly, but same pay, same hours when they were working for you previous to you obtaining the PPP loan, okay? But we also explicitly know that for purposes of loan forgiveness, you can continue to count people that were fired for cause. Okay, so if they did something and you were going to fire them anyway, you don't have to keep paying them. You can fire them for cause, okay? If they voluntarily resigned, meaning they came to you and said, I'm done, I'm out, okay? Or if they voluntarily reduced their working hours during the measurement period, so during that 8-week time frame. So again, you know, these are some very, very specific rules. So ask your questions, give us the most detail possible, and we will try to give you the best answers we can with the information we have at the time we're making the answer. Guys, this stuff is moving so fast. Literally, they are coming out with guidance every day on different questions, on different answers. So it can change at the drop of a hat. So make sure you're staying tuned to both our YouTube and our Facebook group, Tax Strategies That Save Entrepreneurs Thousands. Now, the one other thing that I wanted to cover in today's video that came out as a part of that application, the loan forgiveness application for the PPP. For a lot of people, they didn't have employees. They were, you know, it was a gig. You know, you were a gig person, you were an Uber driver, a Lyft driver, you were the only employee, you were Schedule C, sole proprietorship, you know, anyone who basically they were the only employee under the PPP program. I want to make sure that you guys are being really, really clear here, okay? There is a maximum amount that you can pay yourself from those PPP funds, okay? And the exact dollar amount, so I'm pulling it up on this side so that I get it exactly for you. The exact dollar amount is effectively the $100,000. That's the maximum annual salary per person, okay? So that's $100,000 divided by 52 weeks times 8, okay? So $100,000 divided by 52 weeks, which is the amount per week, right, times the 8-week pay period. The maximum that you can pay yourself during this time frame as a single sole proprietorship owner is $15,385. They've rounded it up. It's $15,384.62, okay? Now, really, what does this mean? Because, of course, your formula, right, to obtain the PPP loan in the first place was your total profit, right, divide by 12 times 2.5, okay, which should be, now that should have been max capped. Your bank should have max capped any of those payroll numbers by, you know, your profit if you're a sole proprietor or the payroll. These terms have become interchangeable in this whole PPP thing, okay? The bank should have capped that at $100,000. If they did not, and they gave you more than that, you better find a way to spend that money if you want it forgiven, okay? Now, remember, forgiveness is great, right? Of course, we want forgiveness. However, it's still only a 1% loan, okay? So now, with all of that being said, okay, there's a whole nother train of thought here that a lot of people are going under, which is I'm not even going to bother going for the forgiveness. I'm just going to keep it as a loan. I'm going to repay it. It's 1% over 2 years, 3 years, you know, depends on the terms that you got from your bank. I'm just going to repay it. I'm not going to go for the forgiveness. But if you can go for the forgiveness, go for the forgiveness. Whole other subject. If you haven't seen our video on this one, we will link it up above in the cards, and we will also link it down in our comments below, okay? At the moment, so today is May 20th, 7:56 a.m. The government and the Congress, you know, the Congress, Senate, the SBA, the IRS, everyone is fighting about, all of those people are being lobbied to, the current law, as it stands, says that if you get forgiveness on your loan, the expenses that you paid with the forgiven loan money are not deductions, okay? Which everybody's blowing up about, but listen, if you got money and you didn't have to pay tax on it and you paid an expense with it, you shouldn't get to deduct it, okay? Don't shoot the messenger, but it makes logical sense that you should not also get the deduction. Now, the lobbyists are lobbying for getting the deduction, okay? So there's a lot of people that are saying, listen, right, if you look at this from the big picture, I'm going to take a 1% loan. I'm not going to apply for forgiveness because I want to be able to deduct those expenses, okay? But then it's a loan and you have to repay the loan. So Guys, again, if you couldn't tell, this is something you want to chat about with your CPA, with what is best for you in your situation, with your numbers. This is a very, very complicated thing. Something, I mean, it is the government, right? We always hope this stuff's going to be simple. It never is. It's definitely complicated. So if you don't have a CPA that you love and trust, of course, you can always reach out to us at taxgoddess.com. And yeah, this is a lot of information for one video. It's a pretty long video. So I know there's going to be a million questions. Post them down below. Join us on YouTube. Please subscribe, like, bell icon, all those good things on YouTube. And join our Facebook group for interactive conversations about the topics that we discuss. So that is tax strategies that save entrepreneurs thousands. I hope you guys have a great day. And as we find out more, you guys will find out more. So hope you guys are having a great day, and we'll talk to you later. All right, thanks. Bye.